everybody. Welcome to Anime Sickos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we take a look at the four pillars of fun and misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Tom, an anime sicko.
I am Joe, an anime sicko.
Real quick, we got one new patron, a real hero. This person has helped us out anonymously with some things in the past. They kick ass. It's Jenna LaFleur. Jenna, thank you.
Thank you. You made it sound like they killed people for us.
No, more like they sent us anonymous tips about funny posts that, that they're aware of.
Okay, yeah, we do not run a wet work operation.
And if we did, you think we would announce it? Actually, yes, we would. We would be very bad at hiding that.
I would never shut up about it.
Actually, it would be very clear if that was the case, because I wouldn't have so much stress in my life over resisting telling Elon Musk to kill himself, because I would have just sent an asset and the question would be answered for me. Yeah. But yes, thank you, Jenna. Thank you for being our patron and giving us money. We really appreciate it.
Once again, it's always nice to reiterate that people give us money. It makes us feel so special.
Yeah, money for goofing and talking.
Goofs. We are goof salesmen, and then people are buying our wares, which feels great.
It seems crazy, because when it comes out of my mouth, it seems very low value, but people seem to disagree, and I love it.
Yeah, the issue is I've been talking like basically my whole life, and now only now it's good. What the fuck? And the other thing that also made me feel good, and you as well, is it's time for Spotify Wrapped lists, and I get to see our awful show art with real shows above and below.
Yeah, it's very, very shocking. I mean, it makes sense. I know we have listeners. I know we got diehard listeners, but it's like when it's like The Adventure Zone, My Brother and Me, fucking like You're Wrong About, and Maintenance Phase. I'm like, those are podcasts that like humans listen to. And then there's like The Freak Show. Ooh, and it's like, how did we get in there?
Yeah, I mean, we're the only podcast not related to the McElroys, I think so. Yeah. That's cool. All
Joe,
that is
so many fucking people are gonna be like, oh, Joe, it's actually McElroy. So I'm just heading that off in the past. You're not gonna get any clout for correcting Joe. Okay, I got the clout.
I was talking about George Jetson's son.
Okay, yeah, okay. You know what? Now I'm the fool.
The Irish version of that. So we have been blessed with a lot of really positive feedback. We're running on good vibes because we have really good topics that appeal to everyone. We really bring people in. We're a big tent show.
Yeah, and it's not just like stupid minutia. It's like really universal themes that like everyone experiences in their lives.
For sure. So the theme of this week is Our Backs Hurt.
Ouchie!
It sucks. Our backs hurt. In a grander scale, it's the Sickos battle Entropy.
But it's really just our backs hurt. If your back hurts and you're like, are they gonna talk about some grander theme that I can relate to? No. Our backs are the ones that hurt. Owie! I said that earlier and I meant it.
Yeah, this is for us, but also you if your back hurts.
Yeah. So, Joe, we are two decrepit elderly dogs. We're like those fucking little white dogs with the disgusting brown streaks coming down from our eyes, our weeping, goopy eyes.
When I lived on Lakeshore Drive, that was every dog. Every dog was the mascara crying dog.
Exactly, and we're at that age where a dog is made out of like old fucking mummy bones, where like if you were to lift the dog up, well, the sounds would be horrific, but if you
I'm imagining it just becomes dust in your hands.
Yes, but then if you were to hold the dog 1 inch over the ground and let go, it would fucking explode and die because of the impact. That is us now. We are the Broken Back Brothers. It sucks shit. You have been living with this much longer than me. I'm a new recruit.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun for me when you were reaching out and you're like, "Oh, I got back problems." I was like, "Okay, cool. So your life's over." But I've had and been dealing with lower back issues for a while, and the reason is it's a cog reason, folks. In my 20s, I got my first big boy office job, and even though it was only 13 miles away, it was the worst 13 miles in the city of Chicago. So it would often take me an hour to get to work and an hour back, much longer if there was a Cubs game.
Which there is like half the time.
Yes, correct. So it's like as soon as the weather got nice, I was punished.
And
Especially
fun because the weather being nice in Chicago is such a brief and really treasured occurrence. And because the weather is nice, that means you're in the car more.
Yes. And you can imagine all the time I sit in traffic, and because like you're human, like no one keeps good posture for a long time unless you're intentional about it.
Yeah.
And when you've been sitting in a car and when you've been sitting at a desk all day, like I'm not sitting as so much as I've just like melted into the back of the seat, like into the seat.
Mm-hmm.
And that causes muscle issues. Because if you do it for 10 fucking years, you become a little imbalanced. I'm much better now. I still have issues, but man, oh man, if you are ever factoring in a long commute as just a tax on your time, you are not doing the full math. You need to consider how it's going to turn you into a horrible skeleton.
Yeah. I knew for a long time, because you would always tell me, when I would say, Joe, how come your back hurts so bad? How come you always have to do your stretches? What's the deal? I don't have to do my stretches. I'll live forever. You would say, well, it's because of how I had to sit in a car when I was commuting to my office job in my 20s. And I believed you, I believed you 100%. I would never doubt you. Why would I? But at the same time, I just I didn't really buy it. Like in my head, it never squared. Like, really? That's the reason? I've sat in a car many times in my life for many hours. My back doesn't hurt. I don't see how the car is what did it. I'm just a little confused. Anyway, my back fucking hurt. My back's been hurting for over a month. It's fucking sucks. I got that chronic pain. You know how it is. Joe, I really feel sorry for doubting you, even though I never voiced the doubt before. Just mentally, the fact that I did not believe you completely, I'm so sorry, because the thing about the fucking seats that they put in cars is that it is impossible to have good posture while you are in them. So even if I have done all my stretches and I'm feeling limber and I'm actually I don't have very much pain. I actually feel pretty good. And I'm going around, walking around and I feel good. I'm I feel good. If I have to drive anywhere, I feel like a pall of dread come over me, because as good as I feel going into the car, I'm going to go when I get out, because that fucking chair is awful and I hate it.
And you know what's wild? In the midst of it, when I was doing it every day, obviously I didn't love it, but I had no idea how bad I was racking up damage. I was like, oh, I guess I'm a little stiff today, but that was the tip of the iceberg.
It sucks so fucking much. It sucks so bad. Joe, here's how I came to become a member of this awful club. So I think every time I visit my wife's parents, I experience a horrible back event. When I was in Spain to visit them at their home, I experienced a horrible back event. I don't know what fucking it was. One day I couldn't stand up straight. And I couldn't really move very much. And it sucked such shit. That lasted for 2 days. Luckily, the Spanish pharmacy was please take all the morphine. It wasn't really morphine, but it was big fucking painkillers that you can't get in the U.S. at least .NET prescription. They just gave it to us fucking sight unseen. And so I was feeling bad. It was 2 days, but it was like two bad days. But I was able to mentally be like, that happens sometimes. It was a acute episode. And then I feel good after. Then I went to visit them again when they were in the States. And I did work during that time because, same time zone. They got Wi-Fi there. Why take time off when I could not take time off? And I'm sitting at a fucking table doing my work on a laptop. And this chair is not an office chair. So I got nothing supporting my back. So I'm doing the full, like...
You're hunching like a freak.
Yeah. I'm doing full flea man posture. Then I died. And now I'm a fucking zombie. My life is over, as you said. I was just like, Joe, everything hurts. My life is over. I live in hell. Have you been like this all along? This explains everything.
It does explain a lot. It hasn't been that bad for all along, but it was at its worst when I was stuck in Hell Tower and the pandemic was raging and there wasn't a vaccine yet.
Woo! Because the best thing to do is walk.
I did not walk because I did not want. Well, it was fucking annoying because I lived in a tower, so the elevators are how I get down, and they were running very crappily because of only like 1 or 2 people per them, and it's a big building, et cetera, et cetera. And I also, because of depressive reasons, have lost a ton of weight. So I became deconditioned. I was down to 130 pounds.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was rough. So I started physical therapy, not even with the intention of like oh, I got to fix my back. It was just like I need a thing to do. I need a goal. And then I did a second round of physical therapy, which I have recently wrapped up, which was much more geared towards my problem area, which is that I have a right hip that likes to overextend, and then that affects pelvic muscles in very stupid ways.
Every fucking thing about the back is so stupid. It's just like, I was telling Dylan at Fio Fiorello on Twitter, follow him. I was telling Dylan about my fucking back, and he was like, when cybernetic parts become available for civilian use, the first thing I'm doing is getting a robot spine. And I was like, fucking yeah, dude. Like, It doesn't even need to be a computer. It doesn't even have it had software. Just replace these stupid fucking discs that fucking suck and don't stand up correctly with like metal ones. God damn it. I was like, Joe, you have been in this position before. This is new to me. You have to tell me what I can do for relief. Please tell me what to do. Nothing is working. Because what I would do is I would look up like back pain stretches on Google, and then I would do a variety of them. And it wasn't really working. Nothing was making a difference. Nothing was lasting, The only thing that would last was if I took like a 3-hour walk. By the end of the walk, I would feel a little bit less stiff, and I could sort of move around. But I was still stiff, and I'm like, I need something. And Joe, you were like, I have the thing. Yeah, I've got incredible video.
I have a qigong routine, the muscle tendon change classic, which is like a 19-minute routine that stretches you out. Yeah. I mean, it really is like it's a kata, dude. It's a kata for feeling better.
Yes. It's slow, very deliberate movements that stretch a variety of muscles. There's nothing that's demanding. Everything is very slow and low impact.
You will absolutely, if you've never done it before, you can use it to quickly diagnose weakness, because there are movements that as you do them, you feel this sort of like gap in your strength, and it's very obvious where it is.
Yeah, that's the muscle tendon you need to change.
Yeah, classically. I told Tom to do that, and he was like, "That was pretty cool, awesome."
Yeah, and I was actually I committed, dude. I was doing it every day as soon as I woke up because I would wake up. I thank fucking Christ that sleeping does not make me feel worse. I don't have like searing pain when I get up out of bed, which is a miracle. But I am still unstretched. I'm totally non-warmed up, and the instant that I sit or have my back in the wrong orientation, I'm at like I have no defense. Like I'm going to 0 HP immediately. Mm-hmm. So I need to get limber in the morning after I get up. And I made it a habit. For like a whole week, every morning I was doing the muscle tendon change classic, and I was like feeling myself getting better at it. And like I could feel that it was like limbering me up, and I'm like, oh my God.
It really does if you do it after several days.
The Qigong guy, it's a Shaolin guy. It's a I think we need to focus on. This guy like knows about Kamehamehas. Like he knows about Hadoukens.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos of him explaining like organizing your mind, kind of like grind set stuff, but it's like Buddhist.
Yeah. It's cool. And I was really vibing with this. I was like, I'm really glad Joe sent me this video because it's so helpful. What a good friend. However, I did set up a doctor's appointment to be like, you gotta fucking look at me, doc. And the doc was like, hey, I actually recommend that you go to our affiliated physical therapy office and get a round of physical therapy on that there back. And I said, will do. And so I went there, and I went to the physical therapist. I explained what was happening to me. It is the commonest fucking thing, no doubt, that she experiences. So she did not like while I was explaining it, she did not give a fuck. It looked like she was barely
She's
listening.
Yawning.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, yeah, it's a fucking back thing. Yeah, I know. And I'm like, and then I feel like this, and this is the muscle that's tense. And she's like, yeah, I know, it's a fucking back thing. It's leaning too much. It's leaning too far forward. It's leaning too much forward. It's bad pot. I get it. She didn't say that, but I could tell that in her face. And then I'm like, so what I've been doing is actually my buddy, because he has back pain. He sent me this Qigong routine, which is like slow, like low impact stretches that, target all different muscle groups. And she basically was like, yeah, you got to stop doing that immediately.
No,
quit doing that shit now.
First of all, a perfect example of like, my buddy did something nice for me. It's like, well, he fucked up.
What you didn't understand is that your buddy is a dumb baby bitch, and that this shit's no good.
So the question is, did she say no so fervently because she doesn't want you to awaken your nen? That's a consideration.
Yeah, I was too close to cultivating my nen power. It's unclear. There are two reasons why someone might want to stop someone from developing nen. One, malice. Mm-hmm. Two, they just get the vibe from your aura that your Hatsu, your nen ability, is going to be like some shit that like just hurts you. It's going to be like a non-helpful ability.
Yeah, there was the early on in Hunter x Hunter, the guy whose nen power was I keep slugs in me.
Yeah. She could tell that I was gonna get the slug goop inside of me, and she's like, "You don't want that. Stop developing your net." The real reason is fucking
anti-Chinese sentiment.
Yeah, is the real reason is fervent xenophobia in the fucking physical therapy. She said, "Ooh, I hates them Chinese." She turned into a prospector for a moment. No, it's because So my fucking problem, the reason nothing I was doing was working is because I was doing a variety of stretches. She was like, you are so fucking weak. You need to do one stretch until you are at like a baby's baseline. And then maybe we can worry about flexing the back muscles. Right now it's extension only. And Joe, it's been about a week and a half since my first physical therapy. I have been doing extensions exclusively, and the difference is astronomical.
Yeah, it's like you're basically just doing high cobras again and again, right?
Yeah, and oh, gee, man, the Qigong looks like shit compared to this. I feel so much better. I mean, I don't feel good, but like, it's when I am in agony, I'm just like, I'm gonna do my extensions, and like, I feel better right away. Fuck.
Yeah, the Qigong routine, the muscle change classic, when I was like really deconditioned and like everything was just fucked. It was amazing for that because it does do everything. You're like breathing life into your body again. It was useful for that. But I guess if you wanted to target only one thing, I think the physical therapist is probably right.
Yeah, this is another funny thing. I didn't remember to tell anyone about this until a few days later because I sort of like was like, is this happening? Like, is this real? The physical therapist kept swearing all the time. Like, she looked bored because, again, I was presenting her the basicest physical problem that a body can encounter. But, like, when she was, like, testing out my flexibility, like, I was laying on the table, and she's like, I'm going to test your hamstring flexibility, and she just, like, lifts the leg up, see how up it can go. She'd be like, "Oh, this is fucking shitty." And she's like, "Okay, so your flexibility fucking sucks." And it's like, huh? What?
That's how I would be a physical therapist. Just be like, your legs are fucked. I mean, we'll get it better, but it's fucked.
Yeah. So yeah, the issue with the Qigong routine is that it's for people with low HP. I thought I was a person with low HP, but what I really was is I was a person who was in the near-death state where I'm flashing red, and then, like, if I get a kill in the next 10 seconds, I like respawn, and then I have low HP. I'm trying to get that one kill. Once I'm at low HP, respawn, then this Qigong shit's gonna be for me, but I'm not there yet because I'm so weak. Because I've never exercised in my life. Okay. Can we talk about entropy in that way? Exercise is the fucking biggest racket because you can exercise for years, multiple times a week, and I have at points in my life. But as soon as you stop, it's like you never have. All the benefits evaporate into fucking nothing, and you become the weak bitch once more.
Yeah, I mean, not that I was like a runner, but I would run only because at the end my brain is better. Like, that was like the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
It was like shaking the snow globe, and it was fine.
It's so fucked that, like, playing a JRPG makes my brain shoot out happiness juice, and so I do it all the time. But doing exercise make my brain shoot out far more happiness juice, and I never do that.
And you didn't do Wii Fit Adventure forever.
No, I got sick of that. Well, you see, the reason why is because I have to swap out the fucking card in the Switch. And I don't like doing that. So I just stopped. Like, I would have to take out the card of the game my wife was playing and put in the fucking Wii fucking Switch Ring Fit Adventure. And yeah, hell no. No, I'm not doing that.
The other thing, do you get the sense when your back is really hurt that you're like trapped? Like, that's what I feel when it's like really bad, because like all I can see is like things I can sit on that would cause me discomfort and things to navigate.
Dude, yes. When I'm in like when I was at my most acute, when like the pain really was at its absolute peak, two things were happening. One, I felt insane. I felt like I was not alive, and I was doing some mysterious other thing. I wasn't dead. I wasn't alive. I was in a worse place than either of the two. I would have preferred either of the two, but I was in the horrible middle. And yet you do. It's just like there's no like nothing's gonna make this stop. Like, why? Like, can I be fucking like torn out of this stupid body? Like, this body's done for. It's gone. There's nothing left in it for me. Why am I here? And like, there's nothing to do. Like, you can't play a game or watch something because like you sit down and do that. You all just gotta walk around in little circles and pace, and because it gives you some relief, but not really any relief. It makes me go nuts. I hated it.
Yeah, speaking of nuts, my back was really bad when I went into the psych ward because they made me hang out in a stretcher for 80 hours, and the stretcher
Jesus.
was like an I-beam that they covered with cloth. So my back obviously hurt, and that trapped feeling was multiplied by like 100.
Yeah.
Also, the beds there are specifically not like super comfortable. They are not trying to make you feel like you want to stay longer.
Yeah, it's not a luxury hotel by any means. Another thing this has done, has opened my eyes to, is Yoshihiro Tagashi, mangaka and author of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, among others. Actually, are there others? Probably. Those are the big ones. There are motherfuckers who call him lazy for taking years-long hiatuses without explanation from his manga because of back pain. And I was gonna say,
I get it.
I experienced like a tiniest fraction of what he must be experiencing, because I lean forward to do my fucking computer work. Yeah, he, I'm sure, leans far forward to draw 20 hours a day for his insane deadlines. And this, you cannot fathom an activity that is more the spine mangler.
It's the huncher.
Yes.
Drawing is the hunching activity.
And imagine that, like, you're in that trapped, insane feeling where it's just like there's nothing. Like, there's no options. Like, I can't do anything. The only thing in the universe for me is pain.
Yeah.
But as that's happening, he's thinking, like, I gotta get back to hunching. Like, I need to hunch. I need to hunch. Everyone's yelling at me. Hunch. And, like, God damn, I wouldn't wish that on... Well, I would wish that on my enemies. Yeah. Elon Musk, please have back pain. All of the fucking rightosphere guys, please have back pain. Yeah.
Are we ready to move on to the next bullet point?
Yes, but before we do, I just want to circle back to, we were talking about how cars fuck your back up. They're the back mangler because of this fucking seat. I just have some general car complaints while we're on that topic, and while we're on, I brought the topic back up. I've just been. This has just heightened my hatred of cars, which already was raging, but more so now. Two things. I just want to put them out there into the world. I will never name my car. Some people have names for their car. We were asked when we got our car, what are you going to name it? And we said nothing. And that answer was met with astonishment and disbelief. And like, no, you'll name it something. It'll happen. Like, no, it won't. We do not name the car. And the reason why is the car is not my friend. The car is not my ally. I have contempt for the car. The car is my enemy. I do not like that we are in this partnership.
The car is like a horse you're riding that wants to deceive you.
Yeah. It's like I went to the city where they tell only lies because I didn't fucking do the logic puzzle right. And I said I'd like a good horse. And they said, these are all good horses. And I'm like, okay. And I got the horse, and I wrote it out, and, it was very clear what had happened. I will never name my fucking car. Also, I hate this. This happens to me all the time. I've never had this not happen to me when I'm in this situation. And it's every time it happens, like, I don't want to get road rage because that's how you get in accidents, and I don't want to be an angry and aggressive person.
Yeah, but it's also not road rage unless you pull a gun.
It's okay, fair enough. I lose my fucking mind when this happens. I get so upset. I'm driving in a lane. There's 2 lanes. I'm driving in a lane. There's a car in front of me. The car in front of me decides, and I didn't know it was going to do this, then it's going to fucking stop. I slow down. I don't know that it's going to... It might just be slowing down. So I slow down too. And then it stops. And then I stop. And I'm like, what's going on? The car stopped. You know what I'll do? I'll go around the car. Now, I think that fucking thought process at that speed, that was real time how I perceive those fucking stimuli. And then I look to the other lane to see, simply wait for a time for when it is safe to move over. And what has happened is that every single fucking person behind me for a goddamn mile has already come to this conclusion 10 seconds ago and is whipping around into the other lane at 1,000 miles per hour. And there will never be an opening for me. And I have to wait until the car in front of me decides I'm done stopping and moves forward. At which point I've lost like 3 green light cycles because there's all the traffic of the other lane, plus everyone's behind me who's smarter than me, whipping around into the fucking openings that I don't get because they're in them. Ah! Fuck cars. Anyway, there's another thing that we have invested significant money into that is the way that we are able to interact with the world that, similar to our bodies, just breaks without warning sometimes, and there's no solution. What is it, Joe?
Our computers, which are part of us,
yeah,
are also failing. They're fucked. I've had the worst technology week the past 2 weeks, I think, for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. What happened to you, Joe?
Well, I got a new graphics card, courtesy of would have been a return from Tom, because Tom had an issue and it was able to be solved without the new card. So he had a card.
A classic move of what's wrong? Troubleshooting has determined the graphics card is wrong. I will go to Micro Center and pay huge dollars for a new card. Time to swap out the card. Oh shit, same issue. It wasn't the card at all. So yeah, I had that card I was going to return. I said, hey, Joe, you buy it for cheap. What a nice guy. And now surely your problem is the card.
So what happened is I put it in the machine, and the VGA error QLED has been stuck on every time. And then I put the old thing back in the old card, and it also does that. I'm completely unable to get it to boot. It does not post. One thing that does happen, and I would have preferred it this not even have happened, because it was a little bit of hope, is like, of the 30 times I like restarted it, it got to the boot screen once, and I didn't. And, yeah, right. It was like that little bit of hope. I don't know why I was doing that.
They can't give you the hope. They can't do that. That's
and every time I have a computer that's fucked, my attempts to fix it is always like very disorganized, because I'm like doing it like all of a sudden quickly, like, God damn it.
Yeah. And also because when you open up the computer, this is anyone, no matter what your setup is, this is true. Shit's all too small. You gotta like wrench your hands into tiny little spaces not meant for a human hand to go in. And also the motherboard has a jillion tiny knives on it that will cut your hand up so that you are bleeding.
Yeah, Winnie had pointed out that I had cut myself when I was angrily doing this, and I had not realized. But eventually I was like, fuck it. I have a better idea. I will go to Micro Center and be like, can you fix this or kill me?
Yeah, like one of the two things has to happen. It's it's exactly the same shit I was describing when I'm not alive, I'm not dead, I'm in a worse third place, and I would like to go to either of the others. And that is exactly what you just said to Micro Center, man.
Yeah. So I took out the drives, and then I brought it to Micro Center, man, and they have a diagnostic service, so they do hardware diagnostic for $40, so you can figure out which actual components are failing. He did not get to that point yet. He was just sort of like testing some things, and boy, oh boy, nothing he did was any different than what I did, and it made me feel very smart. And when it didn't work, well, I preferred it would have worked, but like, because it made him also wrong, I was okay with it.
Yeah. Yes, because I don't know why. I know why. It's because you look like a dumb baby bitch. I hate the idea of looking like a fool in front of IT and presenting them with a problem that is a solution like built into the fucking infrastructure of the computer. Where like, if you just run this fucking solution program, and I'm like, God damn it! Which is why it's like I had an issue with my fucking Outlook on on my work computer a while ago that I was so embarrassed to make a ticket about because like this is so stupid. And Joe, it's like I had won the lottery. Not only could the tech not fix it, but it had to go up the ladder twice and took over a week until someone found a solution. And I'm like, I'm a genius. All these, I'm looking at what they're doing. I'm like, I already tried that, and they're like, huh? Oh, it's so good. Fucking okay. So I did
from the website. They say, oh, we can get a diagnostic done typically same day if you get there 4 hours before store closing. And I was like, holy shit, that's great. So anyway, the guy's like, it'll be about a week and a half. They were really backed up because a lot of people bought things on Black Friday, and I'm sure there's a lot of non-working towers out there, and they have to fix them at scale. So I thought, like, yeah, who cares? Because if I keep it, I'm just going to be pissed because there's going to be a broken computer in my purview.
It's going to look like, you know what it's going to be? It's like you have, like, it's like looking at your own corpse. It's like, what is that? Like, that's only going to make my brain worse.
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, I'm not in love with the amount of time it's going to take, and I haven't really received any information back yet, so it could be scrapped for metal at this point. Who knows? So the other problem is my desk, which I like. I have a nice standing desk. It goes up and down. It is 100% work shit now because the gaming computer is not there. There are so many fucking wires and laptops. It looks like I'm getting too close, and I'm going to get sniped soon.
Yeah. You're about to develop the doohickey that killed Shinzo Abe, but for your own purposes, with all these fucking wires. I didn't have to go to Micro Center. I've spoken earlier on this program about how the issue was actually my computer was working fucking fine. The issue was that an easily accessible menu on my Sony TV just needed to be changed to a different option. Insane. How could anyone know? But I didn't go to Micro Center. What I did is I went to my own personal Micro Center man. That's going to be Chuck Rios, our homie, first ever guest mode goer and composer of the famous Sicko theme. He's a computer sicko and a genius. And I keep fucking trying to like pay him for his time, and he always says no. Anytime I have a computer problem, I say, hey, Chuck, I got a computer problem. And within seconds, he is responding with like reasonable, like actual like genius ideas about what to do. But here's the thing: this is why computers suck and why Entropy is the devil's red right hand that comes to destroy me. When Chuck does like the smart, like in plain English explanation of things I can do to troubleshoot and fix the computer. What it all boils down to is, have you checked literally every single component? Have you checked the power supply? Have you checked the motherboard? Have you checked the CPU? Have you checked the GPU? Have you checked the wiring? Have you checked the OS? Have you checked the BIOS? Have you checked the cooling system? And it's like, you have to check every fucking one. And I wasn't lying about my case being too small. Joe, my fucking CPU was getting too hot, so I got a Noctua CPU heatsink and fan system, which is really fucking big and took like an hour to get in, and I have no idea how to get it out, and it's big fucking thing. It's so honking, and it has a huge heatsink with those parallel metal fucking like panels.
They're organs. They're organ pipes for a mouse.
Yeah. But the point being, the edges are all knives. It's just a bunch of knives that hanging out, standing right up and down in my computer. Well, those huge squares of knives hang directly over all of my RAM slots. So every time Chuck is like, you got to check your RAM, maybe it's your RAM. I'm like, well, it better not be my fucking RAM, because I'm never getting the RAM out, and I'm never getting new RAM in. It's simply not possible. Like it took me like a jillion years to get my graphics card out, because like the little thing that lets it come out is this fucking wiggly lever on the end of the port. And this wiggly lever is covered up by
knives.
Well, I was going to say, would you guess, the fucking graphics card. The graphics card is not sharp. However, it has only an infinitesimal amount of space between it and the motherboard, and I got to get my hand in there. And in doing so means I'm pushing my hand against the motherboard as hard as I can and then also moving it forward. That means I'm going to cut my knuckles up very badly. And I did. They bled quite a lot. I'm going insane. Also, when I have to fucking troubleshoot my computer, it means I got to open it up, do some stuff, plug it back in, turn it on. It didn't work. On and on and on and on and on and on. The thing is, when I'm doing that, when I'm actually able to do that, it's when my wife has already gone to bed. Because if she's awake, I'm going to be spending time with her and not becoming an insane man. And focusing on just trying to destroy the devil's works, which I never will be able to do. The devil's red right hand is stronger than I will ever be.
I became an insane man in the middle of the day, and when he was like, "Oh, why didn't you call Chuck?" But
the point is, when it's nighttime, my little cat needs to sit in my lap, and if I'm not sitting down and letting her sit in my lap, she's freaking out and getting scared. She doesn't know what's going on, and I'm scared. So what happens is I will plug my computer in, turn it on, it'll start booting up, I'll sit down and be like, all right, Lucy, you can sit down, the computer's all fixed, it's all okay. And she'll get up and just turn around a couple times and snuggle, and she'll do that thing, you know how cats always are sort of like tensing up when you're trying to like cuddle, and they're always pushing back a little bit because they're very independent, but then she'll like, that
both my cats
beautiful
do that.
moment.
They love being picked up. I just wanted to put that out there.
Shut the fuck up. That beautiful moment where all the tension leaves and she just relaxes completely into me and cuddles and purrs. And right when that purr starts, I noticed, there's some fucking other problem. Get up, bitch. And I gotta get up. And she like has just gotten to sleep. So she's like in full snooze. So she's not able to do that cat nap instant wake up. She's groggy and like, and the fucking ground she's laying on is becoming vertical, and she's like, whoa, freaking out. And she's like betrayed and scared that she's not on the lap anymore. What's happening? And I fucking troubleshoot the computer. I'm like, now I fixed it. All right, Lucy, come back. And this happens about 10 or 20 times. I hate this shit.
Do you also experience this thing where it's like you've been working on troubleshooting the computer, like having to open it and shit, that like you just can't use a screwdriver anymore after a certain point?
Yeah. Well, every time I screw and unscrew those things, the only thing on my mind is, I wonder if I'm stripping these. Like, I wonder if I'm going to make these unscrew-inable. Like, there's a little the thing on my fucking case, the fucking button that you press to turn it on is like on this like modular doodad that can go on like any of the four sides of the case, which is pretty cool. In order to get the graphics card in and out, because it's big as shit, I have to remove this modular doodad and like move it out of the way because it's in the way of where the graphics card needs to go normally. So you unscrew this, and one of those four screws is it's fucked. Like when I screwed it back in, I could like see the dust coming out, and I'm like, this is the last time it works. Oh God.
One of the things I saw suggested for this problem, because like a lot of people have had this problem, is they were just like, reseat the CPU. I would rather eat glass. I'm not going to fucking do that.
God. Yeah, no. Reseat my fucking...
There was one time when I had a similar computer problem. I think this was about like 8 years ago. I had to reseat the CPU, and I think put the thermal goop on it. There's something fucked up on it, so we had to redo it. Chuck was with me, and as I'm removing the CPU, one of the pins breaks off.
No.
Did you know? And then Chuck had an idea. He pointed out, if the pin is in the little thing, when you put the rest of the shit in, it'll make contact and it shouldn't matter.
No way!
Yes. And guess what? He was right. And then after we got it, he turned to me and he said, it's never coming out again. And that's it.
What a fucking mensch. I love Chuck. Chuck,
Yeah.
you're so nice.
Yeah, a computer
Thank you
genius.
for helping us. So the thing about Entropy, it's not just shit fucking up, because I had something fuck up that was not the devil's red right hand lately, which was my internet just fucking broke completely. Like my fucking router, I have like fiber because my landlord in the first floor has it, so I'm just like, we already got the connection, so I'm just doing that. The router just started blinking red. And I did hard resets, I did power cycles, nothing. I did that thing where AT&T will like reset the signal on their end.
I'm convinced they don't do anything. I think they get up and go into like a break room and do like a dance, and then they sit back down.
Exactly, because that is the type of thing that is part and parcel of the sort of random, unexplainable entropy that ruins all of our shit. But what happened was not entropy. What it was is just the wire that took the internet to our apartment. It broke, and so the guy was just like, "Oh, the wire broke. I'm gonna fix it," and he did. And he's like, "It's fixed," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, bye." And that it felt so surreal because I'm like, wait a minute. Surely what you meant to say is, well, our service is inherently quite bad and has millions of failure points that none of us really understand. There's no documentation on them, and I don't know, only a handful of people understand a handful of ones. No one knows them all. I guess we'll just kind of fuddle around until it half works. And like that was what I was expecting to have happen, because that is what's happening to my body. That is what's happening to my computer. It's what's happening to your computer. It's always like trying to look up computer shit and body shit is so devastatingly awful, because it's just like every fuck up is so unique. And everyone who's giving solutions is talking about a slightly different kind of fuck up. Or they have assumptions that you don't have. Or a fucking
Or there's a guy who had
have.
one thing work for him and he won't shut up about it.
Exactly. It's so fucking bad. And we've been very personal about this. This has all been our shit. And rightly so. We're the protagonists.
Yeah, we're the protagonists of reality.
We're the anime sickos.
Yeah. There is one area of entropy that is for sure not directly connected to our bodies that has been really annoying me. And if you're not from Chicago, you wouldn't notice, but the CTA, like the buses and trains, are so fucked. Like
they're doing it on purpose.
They're doing it on. Lori Lightfoot stated in a press conference that Chicago is a car city, which you can take that to mean like I don't fucking care about all of the other stuff, even though it makes the entire city function. Like the other day, I was thinking, because I think this awful level of service, by which I mean there are buses that don't show up. There's this problem called ghost buses, and the reason they happen, it's because the buses have trackers in them, GPS, and they also, the app that tracks them also has the bus schedule, like there should be a bus at this time. So they will say...
on paper,
on paper, a bus should happen. When everything's fucked up, there's no bus, and it's considered a ghost bus. Yeah. There's like a Twitter account where people just post, like, I have been fucked by the ghost bus.
Yeah. The reason they do this is because the fucking head of the CTA basically just allowed there to be ghost buses and ghost trains so that the paper trail of were there buses and trains says yes there were, and he got a big pay bump for like, wow, I can't believe even during the pandemic there was never a drop in service. Congratulations. That guy can burn in hell.
There's also a labor shortage of operators for both trains and buses, and would you believe that same shithead was like, and we're saving a ton of money on labor this year. That was set.
Motherfucker. This is also part and parcel of, I mean, the CTA thing is near and dear to us because It's our only lifeline away from the fucking car that I hate. That hurts me now. Usually it just hurt me sort of philosophically. It like literally hurts me to get in the car. But it's everywhere. And we talked about this about the internet, and it's really fucking obvious with Twitter now, which is just everything gets worse. The devil's red right hand, Entropy, is always tapping.
Everything is on a slippery slope. It's not like a rhetorical thing. It's like how everything works.
Like we talked about how the fucking episode where we talked about how Twitter's getting bad now was called the Sickos experience an existential threat. Haha, very funny. Well, actually, the real existential threat that we're facing is the fact that our show, the Anime Sickos, is 100% Joe and me's Google chat. And they changed Gmail so that now when you go to chat, it takes up the whole screen instead of being a little window in the bottom. Like, huh? Why? Why? Like, it's never these fucking little defeats, these little failures that are visited upon us every day are so inexplicable. How did this happen? Why did my back start hurting? I've been alive for many years, and why now? I told some motherfucking guy at work, oh, I don't think I can do a lot of work today. My back hurts. I can't sit down. This guy is like a fucking guy who does exercise. He was like, what caused it? Was it a car accident? And I'm like,
no, it just, I like how he immediately goes to only a vehicle accident could cause discomfort. Otherwise, you'd be doing push-ups.
Yeah, and it's like, I would love to live in a world where this shit had causes. Like, the cause is our nemesis, the fucking devil. The cause is that the devil, when the universe was created, the devil won. He was like, oh shit, I've won. Because he introduced his horrible weapon of decay. And it will get me. And it will get everything I love. You know what I really am afraid of? Is growing old in America. And it is not because my body's going to get worse. And it's not because, like, oh, you'll never retire. I mean, it's also that. But the real thing is just, like, the existential experience of being old in America is deeply hostile. It's, like, so terrifying.
Yeah, I think of nursing homes, and even ones that are like good. And there's a lot of bad nursing homes. There's abuse and whatnot. But let's put that aside.
Yeah.
The structure for most of them is set up that you can only pay with Medicaid after you drained your assets. And it's just like, I can't help but see that as like, okay, so you just park old people and then you drain them of their entire life's monetary worth, and then Medicaid pays for their stay there.
I mean, yeah. Even if that predatory angle were eliminated, if they were free, the fact is, it's especially because older people often lose their driver's license, and we live in a car city.
Yep.
As so says our fucking horrible mayor. So, what will happen is old people will become like locked in this fucking elderly people's ghetto where they're just like it's so scary because it feels like your life has been taken away and you are no longer a person. You are like a thing that has to be herded into your pen, and it's so deeply evil and disrespectful. Like, it's disgusting, and I hate to think that like that could happen to me or someone I care about. Like, are you kidding me? It's
warehousing. The other thing is, like, I believe as an old person, you should not have to only be surrounded by other old people.
Yes! It's like, it's the same sort of thing as like how society hates children. Children are sort of siloed into their kids' places. Most people hate seeing and being around children, even though, like, I'm sorry, you're a human. You're gonna be around children. Oh, they're loud and annoying? Yeah, did you not fucking get that lesson in school? Yeah, they are. Oopsie, sorry, you gotta not be a human to deal with that. And you are, so fucking Just deal. Anyway, but like it's so much more just like painful because when you're old, everything hurts. You're tired more. You like also be nice to me. Like just like it's so sick that all of the infrastructure is push these fuckers away. We don't want to look at them anymore. The machine will have blood. These old beef jerky people ain't got none in them. They're pointless. They're pointless people. Get them out of my fucking sight.
The thing I worry about in terms of getting old is like becoming totally inflexible. And I don't mean like physically. I just mean like mentally. By which I mean like my grandfather, who's one of the nicest people ever, but like he had his routine. Like the nurse comes in and gets his numbers at like this time, and then he goes to lunch and he gets there X minutes early. And if those things don't like happen, like fuck, right? I'm already a little bit like that, so like I'm kind of worried.
It's hard. I don't think you can really avoid that happening to you if you are sort of siloed into your old person's warehouse. If you are like again like just in this sort of arrested state that is not society. You're not really living a human life. You have been put away because your blood is too dusty for the machine to use. Except the machine doesn't even need the blood. The machine isn't using the blood. The machine, famously, is like scissors and needs no fuel. It just gets it. And if you can't give it blood, it's so mad at you. So
hold on to that point though. It's true because like when I visited my grandfather, he would often talk just about doctor's visits and stuff because that's like 90% of his life.
Yeah. The doctor's visit is where new shit happens.
Yeah, it's the most stimulating like environment probably.
And it's the fucking like isolation of the old people also makes like visiting them it makes it an awful experience for everyone. I mean, I wouldn't say awful, but it poisons what should be a pleasant experience. Spending time with the person you love. What would be wrong about that? Well, two things. One, because the fucking old person is isolated, they understandably form an incredible attachment to like, or rather, an incredible like desire, hunger for like, please visit me, please call me. Yes. And it's like off-putting to the normal person. And also, when you go to visit them, you have to leave the world and go into like the pre-death hotel prison where it's like, oh God, I hate this place. And there you feel guilty, like, oh, my family is in this place, my relative. Oh no. And like it's
there are people like there every time I would go who I could tell were so starved for company that like they would be content to just hang out with me, a person they have no idea anything about, because they're just that starved for company.
A society that allows this to happen is deeply evil and deeply enthralled to the fucking machine. I can't believe that it is allowed to exist, and I cannot believe that people accept it, especially because we all know that the devil's red right hand will one day bring us low, and I don't want to live in the society that will do that to me. And I hate that my like example of the better life is always when I visited my in-laws in Spain, because Spain is not like good. We have many Latino listeners who will attest. Spain does not know about the right way to treat people. However, in the town square of the town my in-laws live in, there's a big cafe that has a bunch of fucking plastic tables and chairs out in the town square. And we go, and every fucking day, all the old people walk and take a walk, which keeps them limber and fit as much as one can. It keeps them limber and fit so that they can come see their friends and relatives, have a fucking bite to eat and a coffee, and just sit and talk all day. And there's fucking all ages of people going by and having a good time. And man, can I tell you what kind of infrastructure is required to allow this to exist? Again, I'll be clear, plastic tables and chairs. It costs nothing. It just needs the will to exist, and it's so disgusting that there isn't it.
The American version of this is the old people getting to the mall very early to walk, but malls are gone too. So
malls are gone too, and also a mall is, by its very definition, a little island in the midst of a horrific, huge.
You're buying a Sears.
Yeah, and yeah. But I'm talking about the parking lot, which again, you got to drive to get there. And if you can't drive, you fucked. You fucked, honey. No good.
Can I end on a smaller example of entropy, but it's close to home?
You sure can.
So we were getting ready to record this. For the record, I'm using this laptop I never use, which was locked by BitLocker, which is great. Because I never did that, so I had to find out how to unlock it. We're up and running now, after another technological setback. And we go to get ready to record and sync, and we try to go to time.gov, where we always go.
The funniest site.
It's fucking broken. It's gone. And what is the saying, like, example of a failed empire is a bridge collapses and never gets replaced. This is a bridge collapsing and not getting replaced. And this is where the entropy comes in, beyond just this page being fucked. We had to go to time.is.
This is where all those pro podcasters use to sync their audio. We hated it.
Yeah. We've been on shows, and people have been like, all right, we're going to go to time.is, and we have to say, oh, that's cool, but we use time.gov, and they say, shut up. But anyway, so time.is... For one, it doesn't look as fun and shitty the way time.gov is. And there's ads everywhere. They cannot give me more ads.
Time.gov would never have an ad unless you consider all of the Navy logos ads for the Navy. Which, yeah.
They made it, though. Like, that's fair.
That's like calling our show art an ad for us. It's like, well, yes. Yeah. Joe, even before, when time.gov worked perfectly for both of us, there was, again, that the random touch of the devil's wizened finger landed on something we cared about, which is that the original time.gov was like a 320 by 280 pixel square in the middle of a big black void.
It was clearly made for displays that were 400 by 400 pixels. It's so fucking cool.
It was meant to be showing up on a CRT monitor on a battleship that was made in 1960.
I was going to say it would be on a computer in Jurassic Park when it gets fucked up.
Yes. And it portrayed all of the world, and there was a wiggly line that made no sense, that was over the world. And it was supposed to convey some information, and maybe if you were a Navy guy, it would. It didn't to us. Anywho, they took it away from us.
They brought it to 2010.
No good. Bring us back to Web 0.0. This Web 1.0 shit's no good. Fuck. Well, everything you love will get worse and be destroyed, including our show. We're not going to go on forever, will we?
Entropy is the thing that's at the end of the Final Fantasy boss, like the real boss.
Yeah.
You can't win, though.
You know one thing about Final Fantasy? It's good. I'm going to play 9. I'm going to play Dragon Quest 8 first. And then I'm going to play Final Fantasy 9.
I'm very excited for you to play 9. It's my favorite because it has that classic sort of like FF Jobs thing, but the characters are like actual characters. It's not like you pick a
Yeah.
black mage for your, but they're mapped onto the classic Jobs, and it's just
Yeah,
neat.
it's Final Fantasy IV. It's the same thing, but better.
It's just really good. I really do think it's the best one. The skill, like what would be the equivalent of the materia system, is not too annoying. It's like you get equipment, and then your equipment will have like a spell or a skill on it, and if you do enough fighting in that piece of equipment, it stays with you.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I play Final Fantasy VIII, as you may be well aware.
I told you to skip it and go to 9.
I know you did. Okay. The junctioning system on paper is so clever and so original, and offers so much options for customization, and it's really interesting and also so admirable that they decided to go so far afield into something that no other JRPG had done, to my knowledge. Problem is, if you like figure it out, you just junction 100 of something to all of your stats like early on, which isn't hard, you win the game, and the rest of the game is just like, hello, I'm here, can I win? Oh, I have 100 of all the spells, can I win? And they're like, oh yeah, you can. And you just sort of walk around being like, hi, I win, can I go to the next thing? And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest 8. I hear that's also one of the best ones, especially because Dragon Quest 7, that's just long as fuck.
Is that
Dragon
the
Quest 7,
PlayStation one? The
Yeah,
one with the big mural?
yeah, with puzzle pieces. I played the 3DS remake, not the PlayStation original. That's a game where here's my top line review. Dragon Quest VII is a game where it is very clear why it was a critical and commercial smash, and also why the team behind it thought to themselves, oh geez, we need to reinvent the formula real fast. Because like you get just pure Dragon Quest over and over, polished to a mirror sheen, but you get so much of it that by the end you're like, oh, like that was all that there ever could be. Like that was everything. And so I'm glad they changed that shit up for 8.
I own that for PS1. I did not beat it because I got very far and then my memory card fucked up and I just said, it's not worth it.
I mean, Joe, I'll tell you, I beat it. Once you get like halfway through, the other half is just like, it's just more of the same because it's all episodic. It's all bite-sized chunks. And just like, well, I'm going to do more fucking Dragon Quest adventures. Like, and I've already done 20. Like, are the next 20 going to be more exciting? No, they're the fucking same. Anyway, that's all the time we have for Anime Sickos. We got off-tracked on about Dragon Quest. Entropy's bad. The devil will touch you, and he'll touch everything you love. I've been Tom, an Anime Sicko.
I've been Joe, an Anime Sicko.
See ya. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.